Hello, and welcome back to my Comprehending Consciousness series. My name is Allie with amariespeaks.com, and I have created this series here hopefully to bridge gaps between people who are newly waking up or new to the spiritual community and those who have been here for a while, right? Out creating 5D, New Earth. um, there's a lot of terms and new phrases that are even trickling down into the mainstream world these days. So I thought it was a great time to bring in some quick informational videos that go over terms or phrases that we hear a lot lately, and maybe they have some misconceptions around. So I want to offer these as enlightening, quick iceberg type of videos, right? Where you get a quick glance, a little tour of the top, and then you later on can take it and run with it and go see the deep, intricate workings for yourself and break apart more of those misconceptions and stuff that maybe you have around the terms. Today's episode is episode 15, and I'm going to be talking about the higher self. This is something that I have heard a lot about, and especially these days, it's everywhere. And it's a great thing, it really is. However, I have noticed that the mainstream world, the real shallow center, has picked up this higher self term. And so predictably, I guess, really turned it into kind of like my best self here on Earth this lifetime. And people, I see blogs and videos and memes and things on social media and stuff about people expressing, embodying their higher self with the new nails that they just did, or the haircut that they've decided to get, or they're rocking a really cute outfit and on a job interview they just got, and they're embodying their higher self because of that, or these meditations that are guided meditations to the higher self, but they're very shallow, very harnessed in 3D, and I listen to them and say to myself, your higher self really doesn't care about your career path here on Earth, or your outfit, or where you invest your money, or the boyfriend that you have right now, or the girlfriend, or whatever. And I feel when people take this very superficial understanding of higher self and they confuse it with the best version of yourself, or your goal for your life here, that we're really stripping away the beauty and the purpose and the sovereignty about higher self. Yes, your higher self has your highest good in mind. And yes, your higher self can most certainly work in your reality today to assist you. It can be helping to align you with your great purpose and your journey and the lessons that you're here to learn, right, this time around. However, they are an observer, an entity, a witnessing outside of this physical reality, outside and different from the entire scope of what this earth plane world is. Just like people who think like God is within here, constrained by time and reality, like walking around here. It's a misunderstanding of how things are created, I guess, or a misunderstanding of the big picture, maybe, because you cannot be inside the workings of the dimensions and densities and the reality and also be an observer, because the observer is outside of the creation. Okay, it's similar to if you could imagine the consciousness of a single cell in your body, my fingernail cell. That cell has a job. It knows its job. It has a whole life. It has a consciousness at its level. It has workings, purpose. It interacts with all cells around it, communicates, and other, you know what I mean? It has a whole life. That cell is a part of me as the person here in my body, Allie. But it is not Allie. It doesn't have the consciousness that the entity of me holds. The wholeness. I am the observer of my finger, of the wholeness of my body. I'm an observer of that. I am outside of that. It doesn't mean that cell and all my cells don't make me up, and they're totally a part of me. They make me. However, they are not me. I am outside. I am much larger. They could never, in their level of conscious awareness and understanding, ever even believe, probably, that there's a whole body out here that don't even care about the fingernail. I could bite and rip that whole fingernail off. And I'd still be me. I'd still be here. Yeah, I'd be in a lot of pain. You know, but it would be there and it would grow back. God, this creation of reality, is outside of everything, right? Just like we are outside of inside of our bodies. And it's unexplainable, it's unimaginable, it's not comprehension, it's uncomprehendable at the level of consciousness of that cell. However, when we start to really do work and we understand quantumness of life and organic information and our intelligence, our body's intelligence and infinite intelligence, our amazing mind, our observer mind can go and talk to ourselves. We can have a conversation with them. We can enlighten them. We can send attention and love into our body vessel, into a cell, into an organ system, and have a conversation with it. Allow space for it and do working with it, just as if it were another. Because we're the observer. And just like that weird communion of interaction can happen if you allow space for it, the same is the working with us, with Source, and with your higher self. Now, our higher self is also outside of this time scope reality. Most comprehending and understanding would at least put it outside of the densities, or possibly in different dimensions even. And you can look at it sort of like an energetic layered cake of many layerings, except that it would be like liquidy almost, you know, because it's energy, it's moving, it's a field that allows for waves in through it, right? And I'm getting off on a tangent here. But yes, see, if you could understand that the higher self has already evolved out of third, fourth, fifth densities up into higher densities and workings, then you could understand that just like the cell on a finger is so part of us, and it does make me up, that I am so much more. And I really don't have too much care in the world for this one little fingernail. I mean, I do, and I love it, and thank you for growing and being happy, healthy, and hydrated, high functioning as you are. I do appreciate that. But at the same time, my conscious awareness and knowing knows that I could bite my fingernail off and it's going to grow right back. You know, it knows that even if I rip it, it say stub a toenail and it gets ripped off or whatever happens, you know, and you're in a lot of pain, the higher self here knows that that's going to be over pretty soon. My finger is going to heal. My fingernail will grow back. Maybe it'll be a little demented this time around, but once it grows out and I cut it a couple of times, that even that demented part in the nail bed will be gone and it will be fresh and new. Our higher self knows our lifetimes work like that. And so, you know, just like we're not going to really cry and mourn and watch our new fingernail grow and say, oh, you're going to grow right this time, you know, this job here, you know. That's the kind of big picture concept that I'm trying to put on here and get people to understand about the higher self in our lives here today in three-dimensional earth space. Yes, they have full compassion for us. Yes, they understand the complexity and the importance, and they hold real love for us, just like we do for a fingernail. There's only so much impact we have, and only so many messages and types of information that are relevant to both of us and that trickle through and affect us at all levels and stuff. And to think that you're going to embody your higher self because you get your dream job and you own a yacht and you can buy an island and never work again, that's your higher self. That's just very materialistic. It's consumer based. It's the mainstream version of higher self, you know? It's for everybody. Here you go. Plaster it on and put it on. Feel great. However, actually, the higher self is a vast body of conscious awareness that we can tap into. We have such great wisdom accumulated up there, and we do want to offer it down to ourselves. We do want to portray as clearly as we can down to ourselves guiding lights, things that can assist us, the real underlying beneficial paths and energy working for ourselves, right? The things that we need to do to get ahead and through this life lessons. But just like we know our fingernail will grow back, our higher self knows, like, we're going to come back. And also, it depends on the changing of these things and ascension and all of that. I'm not going to get into the cycles and karma, reincarnation, or all the theories of that kind of stuff and all of that. But I will say that the large scope understanding of higher self does see universal evolution long term, humanity's evolution and ascension long term. The individual's growth is also parallel running eternally with all of that, and it has a flow of its own and it's intertwined with all of that as well. And yes, we must recycle back and come to other higher knowledge and to learn it different ways and for soul growth and all of these things, you know. But it's so much deeper, and I feel it's so natural, and of course it's very much part of the mind control of the 3D matrix as well, the setup of the one life, and that we only get one chance at it, and you know, that it's frivolous and quick, and there's no depth to it. However, you know, there is a much deeper working, and when we can really embody that and understand that, then you can really start to quiet your mind and get in a space of communion with your higher self, and you will hear them, and you know they will guide you, and they can be great workers for light work and shadow work to help us call in our gifts and our talents, and to invigorate us and empower us, you know? But it's on a much deeper level than is being put out there. And so I hope this video has at least given you some good metaphors and visualizations to help break away that really thin ice kind of crusting that's across the top of the mainstream here. Please remember, it is not stable. Do not stand on that version of higher self. Do not create false expectations of yourself with success and goals and all of that. If you're craving more depth, if you want better for yourself, that's awesome. We all do. Welcome to the path, you know. Soul evolution's never ending, and it's in a million arrays and avenues, so go for it. And keep going for it, you know. Just don't get stuck in the mainstream. Think you're done. Think your higher self is going to be, you know, the end goal, some kind of dream job, or you're finding your soulmate in your twin flame and you embodying your higher self in that. I'll get into that now. I'm going to do a twin flame video after. Perhaps I'll do that next. I'll get a think on this. But yeah, you know, we get this falsified, real quick, Hollywood style, sparkly version of higher selves. All these people out there embodying their higher selves and making money online and living travel blogs or being independently wealthy or trading cryptocurrencies, and they're embodying their higher self, and their higher self told them to invest in like X, Y, and Z. Please, if you hear anything like that, that should be like radar, red flags, little bubbles of absolute BS, lies. There's realness, there is truth in there. Dive deep and you'll find yours. But please, please have the courage to dive deep. Don't settle. Don't settle for the little sparkly nonsense up at the mainstream level of it. So, thank you so much for joining me for episode 15 on the higher self. If you haven't seen any of the previous episodes, I totally recommend all of them. I go through quick little terms like this in every one. You can find them on my YouTube or BitChute channel. I have a playlist dedicated to them. If in the meantime you're looking for me, I'm on Telegram at Marie Speaks and amariespeaks.com, of course. You can always find me right there. And sharing all types of things around introspection, spirituality, and happiness. So I'll catch you next time, episode 16.